yeah, the great character depictions on there. So
Yeah.
you should watch it. If you haven't watched it, you should watch Game of Thrones. Even though the WAP on this stream might say otherwise.
Yeah. I love Game of Thrones, especially
Willow's better than Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 4. So.
Get out of here!
Holy shit!
Copa has something he'd like me to share.
Yeah, this is how. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
That is like such a problem with modern freaking storytelling with women. Like, think about the nonsensical things that happen in everything, and there's no consequences for their actions. There's no sense. Like, it's like the Rhaenyra problem. It's like you have a character where they give her, and this is not how it is in the book, but they give her everything that she could possibly want, and yet she's still
dildo
oppressed. And
dildo's right.
Holy shit!
Never recommend Game of Thrones the show to anybody.
Why?
Oh, maybe my worst enemy.
Sure. Why? No, why wouldn't you recommend it to anybody?
Oh, dude, because it's completely ruined by the season 8. Season 8 completely destroys everything that you watched.
Hold on. So this is the weird thing about it, because you almost seem like, well, maybe I don't know about you, but I don't have like brainlet friends, people that don't have the ability to separate season 8 from the rest of the series and go,
but
dude, this was great up until this part.
You're working up to that moment. And since they blew that moment, there's no reason to watch the show whatsoever.
But
you know
then
what? Just stop
I would
where
say
the books end, and then just say the rest of it. Like, this is just apocrypha. Like, it's nothing.
I'm not sending these DVDs, to a person on an island, which I can't communicate to in any way other than giving them these and just hoping that they enjoy it, even though they have to watch season 8. I would tell them, hey, later on, they're going to go off book. It's going to get it's not going to get, there's definitely going to be a decline in quality. Just know that's the reason why, but that's the reason why it starts in season 5. Season 5 isn't bad. It's not good. Or it's not as good as like season 4. Season 4 peaks, and from there it's like a slow decline, and then 8 is a car wreck. So you can still enjoy it though. I don't know, Copa's just like, you guys should just rewatch Sopranos, which I mean, I'm not against that, but I'm just saying.
Okay. Wait a minute. Solid show for 6 seasons.
Wait a minute. I just came into this late. I saw the person's comment highlighted on the screen. I heard Flaccid talking. Are we in a disagreement about recommending Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I recommend it. I've read the books too. So far.
I highly recommend it. It's one of the best shows of all time.
And it's
including Dunkin' Egg.
Adaptation for
there's the Lofty we all know and love.
It's one of the best.
Terrible take.
I don't care how bad it ends. Dexter is a fucking amazing show. It has a terrible finale.
Oh, the worst finale maybe ever.
Dude,
Dexter
was a shit show after season 3. What are you talking about? Yeah.
No, look,
it's like watching
the same thing over and over again.
It's the same thing as people saying, I never watch Star Wars again because the sequels are terrible. Fuck you.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Thank you.
People say that. People fucking say that. It's wild to me. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
If you have a show that is leading up to a particular moment and they drop the ball for maybe the last 2 seasons.
And then
what's the point of fucking watching it? What's the point of fucking watching it?
Because it's so good.
Because you can study. I've reread like Game of Thrones like a whole bunch of time.
That's like watching a movie and you go, dude, yeah, so what if the ending fucking is terrible? The first 2 acts are amazing. You should watch it. No, that's absolutely horseshit.
That's complete.
I
couldn't disagree more.
Oh,
yeah, that's a bad comparison.
Absolutely not.
I couldn't disagree more.
Because like in a movie, you generally have like a couple arcs that wrap up in that movie, right? And then it concludes there, and it should feel satisfying as a conclusion. In these seasons, there are arcs that you can kind of go, okay, you can just like watch this, and if it ended there, yeah, I would feel like dissatisfying because there's all the other threads there that need to be tied up. But at least you could say like, yeah, the whole thing with Rob, going down south and how that backfires. Arya's arc throughout it isn't necessarily all that bad. Even in season 8, it's not bad. It's weird that they push her to kill the Night King at the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
silly.
I don't know. This is a bad take, Copa, and that's just like someone saying you shouldn't watch Empire Strikes Back because The Last Jedi sucks, and you're like, or Rise of Skywalker.
It's the same
sucks.
exact thing.
No, it's not. Absolutely.
But how does it end?
It ends horribly.
It's episode 5. How does it end?
It ends terribly.
But here's the thing.
Pretend they don't
We
exist.
talked about this before. It's all episodic with Star Wars.
Yeah. How does it end though? Where does Luke go?
But
where does Luke go?
Are you saying? Wait, Copa. Are you saying somebody who you're recommending it to? You're saying not to watch it. You're depriving them of one of the best season arcs ever with Ned Stark ever.
Did you watch it, Copa? All of it?
Wait, if they
Game of
didn't
Thrones?
listen,
Yeah.
Copa.
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
All the way through.
If they like didn't
I wouldn't be
listen to-
commenting otherwise.
That's what I'm. But that's what I'm. It sounded like you hadn't, so that's why I'm just checking. That's all.
No, if they didn't listen.
Where'd you
to
pick that up at?
I didn't think that, but I'm saying if they didn't listen to your recommendation not to watch it and they did watch it, I wouldn't be surprised if someone said, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong? Like, why do you tell me not to watch this? This first season's fucking."
If anything,
amazing.
I would recommend season 1 through 5. I would say you can stop at 5. That's if anything.
that's
But
different.
I wouldn't recommend the show at all. I would say, look, you're going to be wasting a ton of time here.
It's not a waste of time. It's amazing acting.
Sure.
It's from some of the best battles ever on television.
Who gives a shit?
It's
I
entertainment.
like watching battles.
But who gives a shit?
Well-
The story's not there.
I like the part.
What are you talking about? The story's there up until like if you want to even say like the
I don't
Battle of
get
the
it.
Bastards is a great fight sequence.
great.
Period.
Sure.
Yep.
It is good.
And if you watch that
Agreed.
conclude
Those
there,
Hard Home.
you're fine. Yeah. And there,
Fantastic.
yeah, Hard Home's good. Yeah. So, so what's your deal? Like, people shouldn't watch it because I don't know if I watch the whole series, I won't be able to enjoy the past.
I
things.
like
Just like if I
wasting
watch,
80 hours of my life.
It's not a waste of time, dude.
Bullshit.
No. Yeah,
It's a waste of time for maybe 20% of their time. Like the rest of it
What
is
is it
not a
leading
waste
up
of time.
to? The whole thing is leading up to
this
but
is just
who
like the
is
Star
gonna
Wars
win
thing, though. Like, you can't watch
No, it's
Empire because
not.
what does it lead to?
No.
What does Empire lead to? What does Empire Strikes Back
Leading-
lead to?
It leads into Return of the Jedi.
And Rise of
But that's not even-
Skywalker.
but that's
And
not
Rise of
even that.
Skywalker. And Rise of Skywalker.
No.
It all goes to
That's not
seal
even canon.
titties or whatever, walrus titties on the
Yeah,
beach.
but
Thank
that's not
you.
even canon.
It's but
No,
you can't
yeah,
watch
it is.
it.
See,
No, it's
but
not.
hold on.
No,
Now you're
wait,
separating
no,
it because we just said earlier, if George R. R. Martin is, if you're off book now, you're no longer canon, and that's what we just said earlier. Now you're just using the same kind of
That's
mind,
fine.
whatever.
And I said, look,
What?
if I was to recommend anything, I would recommend the first 5 seasons. Totally
Yeah.
cool. I get that.
Okay.
But I wouldn't even do that.
Why though?
well, you're
That's
depriving,
Because
you're being rude. You're depriving people of fantastic entertainment.
You're being rude.
You're
Copa.
wasting 50 hours of your time.
I didn't waste
the battle-
my time. That's some of the best shows. I some of the most memorable times I've ever spent watching television is Game of
Sure.
Thrones. I didn't waste a single bit of time except the last couple seasons.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I've read the book so many times. Like, I just enjoy
even a waste of
watching
time.
a lot of the adaptations of the scenes on there. It's like I did one of the scenes for an acting class where I did the part where Ned and Robert go into the crypts and start talking about Lyanna, and
Yeah.
I was reading that scene in the book and realizing, dude, it's like a word for word adaptation, and the actors were great. Like, I like the way they shot it. I love the way the sets look. Like, there's a lot of good things you could take from that. Like, I mean, everything turns to shit. That's just the nature of
get-
entropy. Like,
I get saying it's
Willow's
not
better.
canon.
That's all.
Oh,
I
shit.
get the not canon thing. I understand it because I want to say that about the Matrix. You know,
yeah.
But, like-
Hold on. You go ahead.
yeah. It's just, but the Matrix
Oh yeah, you can't watch
first
the Matrix
movie-
either.
the
Don't
first
watch the
movie
Matrix.
is so
That's not what I
good.
said.
It's
Well,
a
but-
television.
It's hard. It's really
You're
hard to
hung
watch
up on
Matrix.
television.
It really is hard to watch Matrix knowing where it's going.
It's
But
not
how?
at all, dude.
Come on, how is it hard?
I've seen the original, dude. I've seen the
Just
original.
don't think
movie
about
like
it. Just
50 times.
just don't think
Dude,
about it. Why is that so
such
hard?
a shit argument.
It's
Are you
not.
gonna
This is
stop?
hard.
This is
One at a time. One at a time. Dawn,
What?
mute people if you have to.
I'm not
Right,
used
no,
to
I'm
being
good.
on this side of the 3v1 conversation.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why is this so hard? Copa?
wait, ladies first. Anyway, You can't say I am not going to ever watch the Lord of the Ring trilogy again because Rings of Prime exists. I mean, come on.
But that's not. But Rings of Prime is
That's
not
a prequel.
canon.
And it's not
It
even.
didn't
it's
even
not-
exist.
It's not in the same universe.
Yeah, it's
That's-
not even the same universe. I don't.
Or The
I don't get-
Hobbit, that was awful too. Like
The
No, but
Hobbit.
that's-
The Hobbit was okay. It
No,
wasn't the worst. It was just.
Yeah.
It was too extended.
Yeah, the prequel thing is different. It's very different. If
No,
the
this is-
prequel
this is-
sucked- yeah.
But this is just so weird to me, Copa, that you just don't have the mental capacity. Which I mean, I'm not Italian, so I don't know if this is a thing
Come on, dude.
genetically
Oh God!
here. You can't just go and say like I'm just gonna separate. I have the mental ability to separate some of these movies apart from each other. Like if you did not like the Dark Knight Rises,
This
you
isn't
can't
about
enjoy the
no,
Dark
this
Knight
is-
because the
this
Dark
is
Knight
about
Rises is the
recommending.
ending of it. That's so weird to me.
This is
like,
about
don't you have
recommending.
Yeah, I know,
If
but
someone
you.
said- yeah, but if someone said,
no.
if someone said, Copa, tell me, like, is Game of Thrones worth it? I'd say no. I would say, if you want to
Oh
check it
my
out,
God.
like, dude,
Wait, Copa.
the first
I
5
get it.
seasons are fucking cool. Whatever. But the thing about it is that if someone was like, hey, I'm watching Game of Thrones, I'd warn them. I'd be like, okay, like,
Wait, Copa. I
let me know
understand what you're saying.
you think past season 6.
Let me meet you in the middle. I kind of understand what you're saying. I'm actually curious though. Do you regret watching the first few seasons of that show?
Do I regret watching
Yeah.
Game
Would
of
you
Thrones?
rather have been ignorant of that, or are you interested? Are you glad that you
No.
experienced some really fun character
Yeah.
development for many seasons?
No, it was great. I
Okay,
have
so
to.
If
No,
you
no,
don't
no, no,
regret
I
it, I don't
concede.
understand how you cannot recommend your experience to
It's
other
like,
people.
have you ever seen the movie Snake Eyes?
The
The
G.I. Joe?
No.
G.I. Joe, right?
No, yeah,
Oh,
no.
I don't
Nicolas
know.
Cage. So
Never mind.
There's this movie Snake Eyes, fantastic film, for 75 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes it drops the ball, ruins the entire picture. I can't recommend Snake Eyes to anybody, even though the movie leading up to the ending. And I think for me, especially with
Well-
Game of Thrones, it's all about the whole point, the whole purpose of the storytelling in that show is the lead up to who's going to be sitting on that throne at the end.
I don't agree. I think you're half right, which is when it comes to films, the lead up, the important thing is how it's going to end. When it comes to television, the important thing is that television shows have arcs. They have season arcs. They have very specific endings to a season, and then they have another season arc, and they have another. It's different. You can't compare it to movie. You can't really compare it unless it's Star
It's all
Wars.
storytelling.
Unless it's Star Wars, then you can compare it because it's Star Wars might as well be a TV show. That's kind of how the vibe of that universe is. But it's not the same as like a movie that has a bad ending. It's just not.
Yeah, it's completely different. There's definitely storylines that get wrapped up that you feel satisfied, or even like you can feel the impact of them. Like all of John's stuff beyond the wall and the decisions he makes up to the point within, I think, end of season 5, you kind of feel like, oh, dude, this is so, yeah, it is compelling. And performances wise too. Some people might not even know the ability Charles Dance has. Maybe the most they've seen him in is in like Dracula Untold, or what's that other one where he does that stuff in drag, you know what I'm talking about? Where he does that dance sequence, you know what I'm talking about?
That's a good point, because actually he's dead. Spoiler alert. And you don't want to miss his character in that show, but what you're saying, Copa, is you shouldn't even experience that at all, because after that character's dead, the show tanks seasons later. Like you would want that removed from your memory.
What I'm saying, no.
But Bush.
No. The question is, would I recommend it? And what I'm saying is no. But if someone said, hey, is most of the show good, or is it worth, like, I hear season 1 through 5 is like worth watching, I'd say yeah, totally. I would say, but 6 through 8 is going to wreck all that work.
They did for that.
No, it wrecks all of it. It wrecks all of it.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Okay, wait. Somebody in the comments said
Dude, all the characters that survive all the way up to season 8. Tell me that they're not all retards in some way. Tell me
Yeah,
they're
but
not.
like, but hold on. Go ahead, Lofty.
I don't. Somebody in the comments says, because it sucks overall. Lofty, what a stubborn dork. Okay, this is a comment. This is what Copa's saying, that the ending somehow, if you have a scale and you're like weighing the pros and cons, you're saying a bad ending automatically pushes the scale back up towards like the con side of it. And I'm saying it doesn't. I'm saying a show could be hypothetically 99% flawless and have a bad ending. Are you saying that it's overall a terrible show because it has a bad ending? That's not how I see it.
Especially when the show is promoted,
crazy.
especially when the show is promoted as just you wait. Oh man, this finale is going to knock your socks off. It's the same as Lost, bro. It's the same as
value
Lost.
of your time. No, Lost strings you along, and you're almost cringing through it, hoping it has a good ending.
That first season was so good, dude.
Well, that's okay.
It was mystery
Lost
box
is not
after
the worst
mystery
show
box.
No. Game of Thrones is way better than Lost. I don't even know how you can compare the two.
Because it's a fucked up ending, dude. I mean,
but the ending doesn't outweigh the
fair
great beginning.
enough. Lost has more bad seasons than Game of Thrones does.
Copa.
Why does the ending out?
Enough. I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me.
Gandalf? Not the wandering wizard.
The same.
Fuck that clip, dude. Fuck that clip.
The better Lord of the Rings. Right?
Lisa asked for it, so I had to play it.
Wait, I'm just so used to being in Copa's situation where I'm defending myself against like 7 people. I do not envy you right now. That's all I'm saying.
It's okay. I love you all. You're awesome.
I don't either, dude. I don't give a fuck. I appreciate you standing your ground. I kind of understand where you're coming from, but like, because I've been there before, I'm just like, you know what? Everybody's fucking retarded. But however, I'm gonna fucking, I don't know. This is fun to talk about.
But it all comes down to the fact that you don't trust whoever you're recommending this to have the mental fortitude to separate some seasons from others, knowing that they are off script and some of the behind the scenes stuff. These guys went to go try to do a Star Wars thing.
Classic.
They rushed it. Everybody hated it, or everyone, even the writers, or not the writers, the actors were all shocked. They're like, dude, this sucks. Everyone knew it sucked, but these guys wanted to get out of it. That's the reason why it sucks.
Don, I'll meet you in the middle, dude. I'll recommend it to somebody like you.
That's
what I was going to say. Placid. You're aware that now this is where Cope is sort of kind of coming from. There are a bunch of people who do regret watching it because they think it's a waste of time. Me and you don't, and I think most people don't. And I think the logical way of thinking about it is it was really, really, really great until it wasn't, which is not a I would still recommend it to people, but there are people where if Copa was like, don't watch it, there are people that would agree with him, like, thank you for not recommending it. Like those people exist, you know.
Listen, I know. Hold on,
the person you're recommending it.
Yes, it does.
Like if it's some like normie person, like
it depends. It depends on it's hard to say though, because you don't know what the fucking person's gonna think.
Yeah, you don't know what the person's going to think, but I do know there's a bunch of people on YouTube that will say Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny ruins Indiana Jones, and I guess have the mental ability. You know, here, let me just suck my own dick here for a second. I can separate those movies and isolate and go, no, these are my 3 movies. These are my 3 movies. They're a perfect trilogy, and that's what I can do. But for some reason, I know I'm saying there are some people out there that will go, I can't do it. Disney ruined my childhood. Chill out. You guys need to fucking grow up and have the ability.
Those are weirdos, dude. I totally agree.
So you're just surrounding yourself with weirdos that can't say that they can't enjoy Game of Thrones because the ending.
You act like Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 8 aren't connected in any way, shape, or form.
You acting like these other movies aren't connected.
They aren't. The only thing that's connected,
God.
dude. Oh my God,
Holy
dude.
Shit.
All right, you want to go with Indiana Jones? All right, fine. So you tell me, other than Jones being in
James
the movie,
Bond
how they're not connected, or how they're connected.
How they're connected? Like what? Like
it's
other than Indiana Jones, other than the character being in it, story wise, plot wise. How are those movies connected?
Wait a minute, I'll tell you, Copa. Do you think season 1 of Game of Thrones is sort of a complete arc that's like interesting to watch?
Sure, but in the overall arching plot, it's still servicing a greater plot.
Okay, but that's how I feel about Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? overall, it's servicing sort of a greater sort of mission, sort of adventure of Indiana Jones. But the first part of that ending of the Raiders, and that's my favorite movie. I don't know. Some people think The Last Crusade is better, but whatever. I'm saying it's the same thing. Like I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't know how Indiana Jones is more episodic than anything else. So you have separate
television
stories.
shows have seasons. They're
Okay.
they're episodic.
Okay, right.
No, they're not. No.
Hold on. I will say
Not every show is episodic.
Right. Indiana Jones does have a kind of isolated feel to it and doesn't feel like anything's really building off after the other one. So if we go with Star Wars, would you recommend someone watch the original trilogy of Star Wars?
Sure.
Why?
Why not? Because they're excellent.
Well, but where does it lead to? Don't you want to know what happens to Luke? He's going to rebuild the temple.
If Star Wars was
that's
a
the
TV
thing.
show,
You keep going back to Disney Star Wars as if that's part of the story.
Oh my God! Here we go again.